Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins tailgates, where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
No, it was El Capitan.
Good flipping evening, everybody. Oh, here we are again. This is the Fins Tailgate in your host, Color Commentary. And we are talking about Mike McDaniel again, Tua again. They can't decide who the problem is. Let's decide for them. What's up, Capitan? We got Capitan riding on the highway. We're here to keep him company for an hour or two and talk about this debacle as the Dolphins fall once again to 1-6, losing to the hapless Browns 31-6.
Color. This is the team that we can't beat the Browns, and we can't beat the likes of the Browns and the likes of Carolina anymore.
The fingers are pointing. The blame is flying. Mike McDaniel telling us flat out that he's going to have to do what he's got to do. And just who was he talking about?
Well, Color, I thought he made it pretty. I thought he made it pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to play a few clips to let you all decide, but I haven't heard nothing from Tua's presser. But Mike McDaniel coming out and saying he's got big changes to make, and some people are going to have to put some work in this week, and he's got to do what he's got to do as a coach. Friends, family, loved ones aside, loyalties, forget it. I think he finally understands what coaching for his job is. And, real quick, Cap, Nick had mentioned something earlier about Tua being, or Mike McDaniel being able to, or Tua being able to have a point about McDaniel or whatever, and it's like, hey, throwing him under the bus, and it's like, hey, to kind of put some shade on McDaniel, if you would have benched the guy at halftime or earlier than you did, Tua wouldn't be at the podium pointing his fingers at you or pointing his fingers at everything else like he continues to do. Sure, he took a little accountability for some stuff, but let's be real. The man's acting like he has no responsibility and beyond being a coach for these guys. When it really comes down to it, he just ain't performing as an NFL quarterback. We're in his 6th year now, and he's making references back to his first year going 1-7 to open the season. I mean, You got your quarterback admitting that he ain't no better than he was in his rookie year. You got your coach saying the quiet part out loud, as we heard earlier, and I quote, he just wasn't good enough. That's a direct quote from Mike McDaniel about Tua and that throw to Achane that was tipped and intercepted. Took 5.5 years, and somebody finally says he ain't good enough, or at least wasn't on play.
I'm pretty sure Brian Flores said he wasn't good enough, but nobody heard him a couple of years ago. I'm sure we've been saying for the last 40 years he ain't good enough, but who's listening, right? I know there's people out here in these YouTube streets, in these Twitter streets, these content creators that have hitched their wagon with the left arm of God and QAnon and the whole fad and this new age pansy football team way of thinking. And they're still out there on X and on Twitter saying that they've got the followers and that, we're nobody and that these people are stupid. Pretty much saying that everyone who's been right is dumb. And the ones that are wrong are still the best. They're the ones that have access. They're the cool guys. They're the OGs in the community. They run this Miami Dolphins fan base.
Well, they can
And
say whatever they
basically,
want. They can say whatever they want, Cap. But in 3.5 quarters of football, our quarterback amassed a total of 100 yards on 12 receptions, 3 interceptions, and a 24.1 quarterback rating. His backup, rookie Quinn Ewers, comes in for 2 series, throws 53 yards, 5 completions, and an 81.8 passer rating, which was exactly minus 50 yards, roughly the same stat line that Dylan Gabriel had. Dylan Gabriel, 6.4 yards average per reception. Quinn Ewers, 6.6. Tua, 4.3. Am I missing something here? Besides the rest of the production by our 5th overall draft pick in his 6th season?
our $200 million athlete, Color.
I mean, he can argue up and down with the likes of Cam Newton and everybody else that had a problem with what he said last week at the podium, but am I missing something? Are we all missing something? I was wondering if Kurt Warner would like to come on the show and let us know what we're all missing. Open the invite's always here, Kurt. Come on, break down
Kurt,
for us. Let's see it. Let's find out if that
please.
interception was Achane's fault or Tua's fault. Come on. Come on. I'm ready. We're ready to learn.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, teach me something.
I'm humbling myself to the likes of Kurt Warner. Come teach me something.
Color, make sure to let everybody know to hit the like button, where they're watching, where they're listening, to come to YouTube. And let's get in chat and shout out some of the homies.
Yeah, what Cap just said. He makes my job of reminding y'all so much easier, because now I just got to be like, did y'all hear what Cap just said? Do what he just said. Yeah, we do enjoy having every one of you watching tonight. We're up to $1.65 right now and rising. Get this thing shared out and liked so everybody knows it's going live. We're gonna talk about this and we're gonna break it down, because we got. I mean, I don't know. Are we done with it all? Do we even have a point? Is there even a point in saving the coach?
There is. He could save himself. He could save himself, Feller. If he goes out there and puts on even a marginally better outing than Tua has had up this far this year with Quinn Ewers, he could save himself. Because Quinn Ewers is the 7th round draft pick. That's a flyer taken out. I don't care what anybody says. He's a flyer guy. And if Mike McDaniel shows that there's any sort of competent coaching in Quinn Ewers as an offensive leader in the quarterback position, it could potentially prove to the upper heads in brass, Chris Greer, who's not getting fired, people. Sorry. You can fly as many planes as you want over the freaking stadium. Chris Greer ain't going nowhere. But if he could prove to Chris Greer and company, the collective, that, you know, he could be a competent coach enough to say, hey, look, let me get in this draft and pick one of these guys coming up. Maybe they'll value his opinion come draft time when it comes to picking a quarterback. Maybe the open market isn't going to find somebody worth their salt if they're going to be drafting a quarterback to have in the room, because they're going to be a team that's obviously shedding talent, losing people out the door, having its own, all these problems. Who's going to come in and take this job and turn it around day one?
Well, I would want to point out that when he was talking about guys having a lot of guys having a lot of work to do this week. Yeah, we took it as him talking about Tua, sure, or talking about maybe Quinn Ewers or whatever. But with what's going on right now, there's guys that we can't play anymore this year because they're going to be ready to be traded, which means, Quinn Ewers is not going to get the same lineup to work with.
No,
but McDaniel still wants to win. So what he's saying is, yeah, there's a lot of guys, like the entire squad that practices with Quinn Ewers is going to have to get up to starting game speed this week.
Because
we're not playing Waddle.
We're not
playing Waddle. We're not playing anybody that we have even an inkling of an idea of shopping.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you pull those guys and try to get value? All you're doing now is hurting your value. Hit the like button, everybody. Subscribe if you're new. How's the mic sound? Someone said I sound like a frog color. How's the mic? Should I reconnect?
It's kind of, roady sounding.
Oh, really?
Like you're on the road.
Well, I am. I'm in the truck. Hit the like button, everybody. If you're watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, Cup on a String, Smoke Signals, Message in a Bottle, Written in the Sky by a Plane, Banner, wherever you're enjoying the Finn's Tailgate program, come over here to YouTube. Come over here to YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, join the membership. Like X Factor, I see in chat. Color, who else is in chat? I can't even see.
Jeff Juice showing up. Ambassador at Large. Ms. Relentless, another member in chat. And got Mike Skowski, Greg Fontaine, Shataive coming in. Back it up, Binge. What's up, man?
Hit the like button, everybody.
Polly.
What's up, JP?
Polly. Good seeing you around.
Polly, salute. Hit the like button.
Dan the Man Fan 44. We got Brad Boss 818.
I see Brad Boss down there. Brad Boss, I started the live up for you, buddy. Am I still fat shaming? Yeah, I am.
Fat shame, bro.
I will fat shame. If you're gonna, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna be someone to give people athletic advice in any sort, you better have a fucking hefty resume, or B, not be a fat fuck. Okay, that's it. All right, I'm sorry. I'm almost 40. I watch what I eat. I work out regularly. I fucking keep active because I'm a fucking athlete. I'm not letting myself fall apart. Okay.
Yeah, I watch what I eat too.
100 color. And are you a fat fuck? No.
No, but
again, dude, life is full of sacrifices. And Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have any sacrifices. That's why his life looks like this. All off season, that boy on the fucking yacht, having a couple of brewskis, like he won the fucking Super Bowl this last offseason.
Hey, that's what he said. He doesn't like the way he's handled things this year.
Yeah, I don't like the way he's handled it either. I don't like the way he's handled his career. I don't like the way he's fucking talks. I don't like the way he plays football. I don't like the way he handles anything, bro. Anything. And man, dude, they are coming for Mike McDaniel tonight, Cutler. I got a tweet that's in the midst of going viral right now. We're gonna play it here in a little bit, but it highlights when Mike McDaniel calls out Tua. So in the post game press conferences, right? And hit the like button, everybody. I see you guys all coming in here. Let's this is the viral tweet color.
I don't know. This
Is this
is
the one that's
this is hold on.
is the breaking news one?
No. Hold on.
All right, which one is this?
Oh, here we go. This is the one.
Well, let's scroll down further. Color. Let's start with Tua. Let's start with Tua because
I
Tua
didn't
was
even
first.
find one from Tua, bro. I scrolled
Yeah,
pretty
you got
far
to scroll
down.
further down.
Yeah,
I have Tua's press conference. I mean, look, I've probably had maybe 25 tweets since the game started. So there's some live plays that I took during the game of our live play game call. I've got Quinn Ewers' first throw that was almost a fucking pick, which is crazy. You know, and right after Quinn Ewers' highlights and lowlights, whatever that I put on the timeline, I have Tua's post game. So you should be able to find it. What's up, Tom?
Yo, what's up?
Just on the road again.
Yeah.
All right, let
Ready
me
to blow
try.
off steam.
We'll do
Let me
this.
try, Greg.
Hold on.
I know I got to be a lot better, and I've been better for.
Can you hear it?
The Miami Dolphins years past, but this is
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear it. How do I sound?
Right, and
Good.
just trying to maneuver everything and trying to build a collection of guys to kind of bring along with me, and I got to be able to multitask if that makes sense.
What the fuck is he talking about, dude?
Yeah, I know. He's acting like he's the head
I don't
coach.
Continue to get the
Yeah,
whatever
he's
it was
acting like
last
I got to
year
build a
prior for
collective.
myself to get going again.
For what? You're gone, dude. You got
It's like-
6 year. You're in your
Definitely
sixth
not
season,
happy,
bro.
not
What,
proud of
what are
where
you
I'm
talking
at
about?
with
Building a
play.
team for the next 4 years? Like, really?
Going about things this year. I know I got to be a lot better, and I've been better for the Miami Dolphins years past, but this isn't years past. This is this year.
There is that.
And,
There's this.
kind
Yeah,
of bring
man.
along, the alignment of things. But I think a lot of it was, we shot ourselves in the foot, hurting ourselves with penalties, going out there, the alignment of things. Do we know where we're supposed to be? Are we on the same page with communication to the receivers? Things of that nature. But they're a really good defense. So I can't give that they are the best defense that I faced or not, but they were really good.
I mean, it just more and more and more
Yeah, it's constant, like,
excuses.
communication issues. And it's like,
That's it. Color,
bro, do
go
you
up.
even know how to use your headset at this point? That's what I'm wondering, bro. I mean, for real, man, everything's a communication issue. Like, maybe he needs a freaking IT guy. What else?
Isn't this kid a communications major?
I mean, everything is always
Isn't he a
a
communications
problem,
major?
dude. Everything is always a problem. Everything. There's always something going on. Everything ain't right. What a prima donna fuck, dude. I'm so tired of it, man. Anything else we need to do for him before we snap the ball, bro?
Color, I was saying to my brother-in-law when we were talking about the Dolphins, and he was the guy who was never on Tua. Everything he ever said about Tua was like he's too small, too injury prone. The kid is not that smart. All the things at first read. I mean, everything. His consensus day one was spot on from then and beyond. But he says, me and him were talking, and I was like, you know what? Tua might not be the worst quarterback ever, right? But there's never been a quarterback, at least that I can remember in Miami, that has done so little while given so much. And here's the thing. It made me realize that when when we had Ryan Tannehill and we tried to build around him, but we did it wrong. We tried to force him into a square peg into a round hole. A new coach in, and we tried to do all this stuff, and then we ended up breaking him. He was like all down, sad, bored, and we ran him up out of here. Chris Greer saw all this happen, right? And the Miami Dolphins upper brass, a lot of those guys are still around in the building. They've seen this happen. And I'm not going to say, look, if you want to say they picked the wrong guy to build around, then fine. You've got me there. I agree 1,000,000%. Tua was the wrong guy. But I'm not going to say that they didn't do it the right way. They fucking gave this kid everything. The Miami Dolphins are one of the very few teams I've ever seen just keep throwing everything to help this quarterback out, from players to excuses to weapons, free agent acquisition weapons, drafting guys to make them better, a bevy of fucking
Basically getting
weaponry.
guys on Twitter fan consensus. I mean,
Yes, dude, just everything,
we as a fan
controlling
base
narratives.
have been involved in this the whole way through.
It's incredible color. And even to the point where, like, they want to blame the offensive line. Are we forgetting that we brought in Teron Armstead here? Are we forgetting that we picked, offensive linemen?
Ron Armstead has already had a tour of duty and left, bro.
I know. That's how long this shit's been going on. And are we forgetting that we've been drafting top tackles or guards in the second round every fucking year, it seems like? Pretty much every year we're drafting some guys. Remember, Robert Hunt, been drafted and gone since Tua's time.
Michael
Liam
Dieter.
Eichenberg, Michael Dieter.
And then there's other guys we brought in and went right out of. Connor Williams doing just fine in Jacksonville.
I mean, just so much, dude. Everything. Even, and I get it, Mudbone. The trenches haven't been perfect, but they've been well enough with the counterbalance of bevy of weaponry that is working. There's just no way that Devon Achane, as great of an athlete he is not wasting his career with Tua Tagovailoa being his quarterback. There's just no way that Tyreek Hill, as great as he is, and the numbers he's put up, isn't wasting his career. And that's true across the board. Every team in the NFL would love to have Darren Waller as their tight end right now. Every team.
Big Julian Hill didn't expect better for his career?
Everything, dude. Everything. It's just never ending with what they've done to help this kid. And meanwhile, it's everybody else's fault. It's him needing to gather up more true believers to create QAnon 2.0. It's sick is what it is. It's sick. It's sick. And, I'm wondering, is Mike McDaniel, who I feel like Mike McDaniel since the end of last year has been kind of wishy-washy on Tua since the beginning of this year. Look no further than Miami Dolphins' number one concern in the free agency, sign number one, their top priority, Zach Wilson. They've been worried about Tua's ability, availability, psycho ability, fucking hot belly ability, left arm, noodle arm ability. They've been worried about this for a minute. And as we stated in the pregame game call today earlier, I said this was a week that the media across the board is on Tua's motherfucking neck. On his neck. Because finally, he spoke truth at the podium. He spoke truth at the podium. And it wasn't cute, little salty Tua saying something about, Tyreek needs to be more in charge. Tyreek needs to be held accountable. Because Tyreek is an easy fucking target. He's freaking, giant. He makes it easy to point at him. Fine. Uh, it's not the big bad wolf and Brian Flores. It's not Brian Flores' fault no more. He's got nowhere else to point for blames, yet he still does. He still does. This kid is finally pointing out to himself, and Mike McDaniel has got to be asking himself, well, he's got to, has he finally learned in the extent that this motherfucker Tua is going to throw me under the bus? First of all, he's been kind of already saying it little by little in his press conferences. He been kind of hinting at some bullshit. I mean, that pressure just now. I need a collection. Who the fucking collection of what, bitch? Collection of who? Who's we, motherfucker? Yeah, collection. How about you worry about collecting those fucking interceptions and making them into completions? You fuck. How about you start worrying about getting into the gym and getting into the fucking weight room and getting into the fucking film room and getting in with your wide receivers and actually fucking doing some shit? How about that? Oh, what? They don't want to show up? I wonder fucking why. Because in the off season, when it was time to do all that, you were fucking busy on your boat. While they were out fucking in the weight room grinding, they didn't see your bitch ass, did they? And now you want to point the fingers of blame? Respect is earned, people, across the board. And it's blatant that the team does not respect Tua. Now they're trying to flip this on its head right now, saying that the team is not respecting Mike McDaniel. That's the narrative being pushed a little bit now. Here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Confirmed reports, and now this isn't always the case, right? That owner Stephen Ross and Tom Garfunkel and the upper brass are at a game. Now they're at every home game, but they're not at every road game. They typically are, but not every road game. There's other business things. There's other people that can represent. But Stephen Ross himself was in the building to witness this. Stephen Ross was there to watch all the way until Tua got pulled out of the game. After he threw his third interception, after just a terrible, terrible start to the third, terrible game all around. Let's call it for what it is. And Kim Bocamper reported, Kim, ex-Miami Dolphin Kim Bocamper, no nonsense, calls it like it is. He reports that he's seen with his own eyes Garfinkel and Ross, and Ross was like noticeably shaken in anger. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to scream at Mike McDaniel? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Mike McDaniel, from what I seen today, from what I seen in Chris Greer being at the fucking Sellers game this week, from all the reports that came out this week that Chris Greer and company are looking at quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure Ross knew all fucking week whenever he turned on anything. All his little rich buddies, all the motherfuckers that are going in there, all probably asked Ross all week, what the fuck was up with Tua with that last week's post-game press conference comments? What the hell is he talking about? And then he's got to see Tua follow up those post-game press conference with that performance. Performance where at halftime, he had one interception and 36 yards of passing. A game in which he threw 3 interceptions and only 100 yards passing. So you tell me, is Ross going to go, fuck you, Mike McDaniel? Why'd you break my quarterback? Or is he going to go, what the fuck's wrong with this piece of shit quarterback? Mike McDaniel in his post-game presser said, Tua didn't do well enough. In a game in which we have all the right pieces and all the right things and all the right ways, it ain't enough, bitch. So tell me. Now, can Ross still look to fucking hold Mike McDaniel accountable? Absolutely. Are they cutting Tua today? No. Are they trading Tua today? Absolutely not. There ain't a person on planet Earth that's willing to trade for Tua right now. Fuck, we'd have to trade to it and give them draft picks and pay dead cap for someone to take this trash.
Well, Cap, I mean, bro, did I mention the box score today?
Please, Color, refresh everybody's memory again and make sure everybody hits that damn like button.
Well, Cap, I'm going to ask you to tell me who is who. We're going to play a game. Okay?
All right, let's go. Game on.
Tua or Dylan?
Dun, dun, dun,
100 and-
dun, dun, dun,
116
dun, dun, dun.
yards. Tua or Dylan? 116 yards.
Dylan.
Well, that's just fucking terrible. I'm gonna say.
How
I'm
about
gonna
you,
say
Cap?
Tua.
Dylan or Tua?
I'm gonna say Tua. 116.
Tonk was right. It was Dylan. All right. Dylan or Tua? 13 completions.
Tua.
It was Dylan. Tua had 12.
Ah, you
Jeez.
mother.
Okay, so here we go. 23.5 QBR.
Oh, that's Tua.
Dylan because Tua was 24.
No, that was
Tua's-
Tua's passer rating.
Oh, what
Tua's
was it again?
Tua's QBR was 3.4.
Oh my god! Damn. 3.4 QBR. Where are you stat heads at now, bitches?
I've never even
Where are you
heard
at,
of QBR that
Alfaro?
low.
Yeah,
Where are you at,
24.1 was his
Tiago?
passer rating, and Dylan's passer rating was 89.1.
Hey, Color, real quick. Where are all these two sexuals at right now? Where's Alfaro Tiago at 3 yards per carry?
How about
I
this
know where-
one? How
I know
about
where
this one?
3%
How about
of them
this one?
are.
How about this one? 6.6 yards per reception.
6.6 yards per reception. Well, that
Yep,
definitely
Dylan or
can't be
Tua?
Tua. That's Dylan.
Nope. It was Quinn Ewers. Dylan was 6.4.
Oh, a trick question.
he snuck a bonus one in there.
Tua's was
Yeah.
4.3.
4.3. Jesus. 4.3 yards per
81.8.
reception.
81.8 passer rating. Oh, I already said that one. No, I didn't. That was Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was Quinn.
Dylan's was 89.1, Tua's 24.1. So in the two series that Quinn Ewers came in,
He was the second best quarterback.
He basically performed exactly like Dylan Gabriel.
It's crazy.
And better because he got 53 yards passing in two series. It took Dylan all game to get 116.
Hit the like button, everybody. I just want to know, Color, with these amazing
Well, I'm just wondering if everybody thinks Dylan Gabriel's trash because that's obviously that's what, if I just said, hey, this is so-and-so's stat line today, and they, Dylan Gabriel, and what Tua Neers would say if Tua had a good game today. They'd say, oh, Dylan Gabriel, that's trash. And it is.
Color, they're both trash. And I would say this, Dylan Gabriel on today on the football field was far and away less trash because he costs about a fraction of a fraction to have him play today.
Most of the other stats are equal,
millions.
bro. Most of the other stats are equal, including their run game was virtually equal to ours. We were actually more efficient in the run game. Devon Achane had 6.3 yards per carry. Quinshawn Judkins had 3.4 per.
And it was the turnovers on and special team scores.
Right. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Achane, 0 touchdowns. Judkins, 3 touchdowns. Now, how do you think a running back gets 3 touchdowns? I'll tell you why. 2 is interceptions, 3.
Well, one of those were a pick 6, Color.
Well, I'm just saying I don't think it's I know each interception didn't cause a running game touchdown for them. I'm just pointing out that I don't think it's a small coincidence that their running game had 3 touchdowns and our quarterback had 3 interceptions. Neither quarterback threw a touchdown.
And Dylan Gabriel didn't have a chance to fuck his game up for him.
Right.
Because Tua was
right.
too busy
Right. Neither
fucking it up
quarterback
for
threw
us
a
all
touchdown.
game.
Right, Cap. Neither quarterback threw a touchdown, and only one quarterback out of the 3 that touched the field today threw an interception. Although Quinn Ewers was pretty close on one of them from what I remember.
Yeah, his first throw fucking almost got picked off.
First NFL throw in his career.
Yeah. And you know what? Probably got the little bit of, I mean, think about it. First time you're named backup and now you're already fucking in there. Boy had the jitters.
I mean, let's be real. He still threw it twice the amount of yardage up the field than Tua did in his first throw in his career.
Mm-hmm. I like that Quinn Ewers tried to push the ball down the field too.
Yeah, y'all don't remember the catapult 10-yard pass out to the numbers that Tua threw for his first pass? Y'all don't remember that, huh? I mean, how did people not know right from the jump, dude?
Because they so badly.
Go back and look at his first play in the NFL, bro, and tell me if you don't see exactly what we see today.
Color, you forget, but I remember when Tua came in on that Rams game. Or no, what was it? What was it before? It was the Jets for like the final drive.
His very first throw ever was against the Jets.
Patrick Laird for the touchdown. Remember? Patrick Laird, the intern running back, caught his very first touchdown against the Jets. Anyhow, I remember how people were acting after Tua threw it, and it was like, dude, people were like weepy. It was like we just landed on the fucking moon.
Bro. And it was the same as these stupid little dump off screens out to the flat, dude.
Yep. The kid has had the same game since high school, bro. There's been no improvement.
Yeah, it's a walled garden. It's like I've always said, dude. It's a walled garden. It's a sandbox. And I don't mean sandbox like making castles sandbox. I mean sandbox like a firewall, like you're in a sandbox. You're in a container. You're containerized, encapsulated, whatever word you want to use. Limited.
Hit the like button, everybody. Get them likes up.
What's up, Crypto? Long time no see, man.
What's up, Crypto?
I think he stumbled into the wrong show. I think he was looking for Pete's show, man, to get back on there.
Oh, shit.
Tailgate. He's all got a bottle in his hand. He's like, "What's up, guys? I was looking for Pete. Where's Pete?"
You know what, Color, though? I'm hearing all these stats you're talking about, the QBRs, all this other nonsense, right? Passer rating, whatever, bullshit. Where are all the stat heads at now? Where's Alfar Tiaga from 3 yards per carry?
I don't know.
Where's that?
I've been
Chris
calling
Hoffman?
these stats out for years, man.
I know you have,
It's been
Color.
the same.
I know you have.
It's been the same. It's actually worse, and Cap, all the work I put in for like 2 seasons straight with all the quarterback rankings and all that. You know what I mean? And it's
I remember.
He was better then, dude. Like right now, it's like, why even bother? He's going to be in the 20th and everything,
But again, where's Reason at with all his booty clapping for fucking Tua and all his bullshit? I also
found a way, because I'm learning Python programming, so I found a way that's going to allow me to scrape all that data and just tell Python to do exactly what I want to do. Like,
yeah, Color. That's the next step. I was waiting for that.
We expanding it in the statistician department here at the tailgate for sure.
Oh yeah. AI finna take us to the next level.
I can tell once I learn what I need to learn. I can tell Python, yo, tell me put a
Well,
graphic on the
let's
screen
keep
that
that
shows me exactly what's what, man.
let's keep that close to the chest right now, because all these nerds are going to find themselves overwhelmed with athletes that actually know the game and are going to learn your nerd shit to button you with your own shit. That's how
Mhm.
competitive we are. We're too busy competing and all this other shit. All of
Ain't
a
no
sudden now
Excel
you nerds
spreadsheets
think you
around
got
here.
something on somebody, and I'm letting you know now, Bartiaga. I'm letting you
Yeah.
know now, Kyle Krabs. I'm
Yeah, we
letting
don't
you know
fuck around
now,
with spreadsheets
Chris
around here. We got
Kaufman.
object-oriented
I'm letting you
programming.
know
That's what we're
now,
doing.
Reason. Your bitch ass statistician not knowing fuck all about fuck in this community days are numbered. O's coming for it. You're done. You're done. You guys exposed yourselves for how dumb you are over the last 4 or 5 years with this fucking quarterback. Y'all are still doing it. The O line, the O line. Fuck you with the O line, bitch. How about that? How about that?
Man, bro, has a Canadian ever even seen a dolphin, bro?
No, are you kidding me? That motherfucker goes to SeaWorld, they're gonna put him in the tank. Fuck that hoe. That motherfucker go to SeaWorld, they're putting his big ass in the tank. Bet that. Bet that.
I mean,
Fuck
and
out of
everybody's
here.
got a right to be a fan. What I don't understand is why the whole organization and fan base and everything props these guys up,
I'll tell
you
you why,
know,
Color. You want me to tell you why? I'm
and
gonna
they're
tell you why.
nowhere near the building.
Color, you want me to tell you why
Money,
they prop these people up?
money.
Nope. Well, yes, money is definitely a driver. But it also, you got to remember, these are nerds too. So, like, they feel cool when they click up with each other with their nerdiness. But they
Yeah,
also choose
well,
someone
the
like,
era
well, hold
of
on,
two
Color. Let me
plus
help you
two
out.
equals five is gone.
Yeah, but, well, kind of. They're still out there. It's not like they're dead. They're just still out there. But also, and this is the main reason why they pick a guy like Tua, okay? Because these dorks, these stat guys, these wannabes, these tools, these posers, Color. Shout out to the posers, okay? These posers don't know the game of football, but they look at all of what they can learn on paper about football and then see a guy like Tua, who's not a superior athlete, not a giant, something they can look at and see themselves in. Just a regular guy out here living his football dreams. And if them, if those, if whatever pronoun you fucking nerds want today, applied yourself and played football when you were younger, this is what they're telling themselves, with how smart they are in their little brainiac stat bullshit, they could have been like Tua. They could have been a better athlete than the people that are athletes telling them they don't know anything because they have this to compete in. And therein lies why they love Tua. It's not a love for Tua. It's a selfish love for themselves. When you're a real true athlete and play this game, at some point, like me, like a lot of us that don't go pro, it's because we hit the fucking wall at some point and go, yeah, I am good. I got the heart. I got the know how, but I physically don't have the limits. I'm physically not tall enough, heavy enough, fast enough, whatever. These people, they don't know that because they've never tested themselves. So they don't know what it means to either be able to do everything they could and push their physical limitations to the max. So they just go off of, well, I just put my brainiacs to the max and think that they can apply that to athletic football abilities, and you fucking can't, you dorks.
Yeah, I had you up, Crypto. I didn't hear you though. And then I thought you put yourself back there. I didn't realize you were still waiting to come back up.
No,
What's up,
no,
man?
no,
How you been?
no. My audio was it was on
We
my
we we
speaker.
thought you were looking for Peach Channel and just stumbled across the tailgate.
No, actually, no, I was on Pete's show early. I had to go up there and listen to the the meltdown
Oh, he's
slash
dancing all
celebration.
over to his grave, ain't he?
It's official. The dirt is there. This season's in the refrigerator, and the Jello is jiggling.
Wow.
I always love that one. I always love the
Carla,
fucking in the refrigerator and the Jello is jiggling. I love that.
and you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Here's Carla finally saying something that Color can agree with. She says McDaniel and Weaver were hamstrung by Greer and Ross. They would not keep good players and mismanage the money. McDaniel does not know how to use the players he has. Ollie Gordon is an example. I wholeheartedly agree with that entire statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would still hold off a little bit on saying McDaniel doesn't know how to use players he has. It's like, well, what are you supposed to do, with garbage at quarterback? But
listen, one thing that's fantastic about the QBR versus QB rating. QBR cannot be manipulated because that's cumulative based on defense you play, but the QB rating can be manipulated from week to week. And it's only like a certain amount of stats.
QBR is also proprietary to ESPN and was literally created by them because they didn't believe in the passer rating and they wanted to be more accurate.
Right. Exactly. It gives you the total picture of the quarterback and what he's doing.
Color, I see Jay in chat calling out Big O. We might want to play a little bit of the Big O song for Jay in chat, maybe, Color.
Oh, the Big O song? Oh.
What are you talking about? Hold on.
Oh, man.
I think it's in the video section. We got a little bit of it, Color.
Yeah, here. Oh, wait. I know what I needed. Okay, here we go.
No, it was El Capitan. Slapdicks.
Good. Capitan.
No, it was El Capitan. Slapdicks.
Big O in the building. Been around for a while. Got the mic and the name and the journalist style. Claims he run the block like he owned the foul. But the fans in the streets ain't feeling that smile. Talks like the king with the gate and the lock. Saying they ain't real fans, bro, take a walk. It's down in the tailgate where the grill gets hot. We bleed aqua and orange, like it or not. This is the finish fight. Welcome to the show. When the old school hates to see the new blood grow. You can think, keep it right, but the crowd don't know. Ain't no stopping the Finns tailgate. Big O, you jealous of the vibe? We got the flow. Your numbers ain't the same and your pride just shows. Try to block the lane, but the Finns still go. Through the shade, through the hate, that's how tailgates roll. Clickbait wars got the YouTube heat. Big O throw shade like he's scared of defeat. Crying on stream like they ain't elite. While we toasting in the lot, turning losses to beats. We got fans in the panels, got laughs in the crew. You solo in the bunker throwing darts at who? Every new voice you call them fake news, but community's grown and they ain't picking you. You built a castle, yeah, you made your bed, but you never fed the people, just your ego instead. Now you're watching from the tower while the crowd gets fed by the grill, by the vibe, by the voices you dread. Just say we clowns, cool, we bring in the show, but when the team's down bad, we still never fold. We debate, we dream, we keep the faith whole. You rant and repeat like a broken scroll. It ain't about fame, it's about connection. You lost that spark, now you fear rejection. While we light it up with the live session. You stuck in the past, afraid of progression. This is the Finns fight, welcome to the show. When the tailgate rises in the old dog slow. You can bark from the porch, but the people know we the heartbeat now, just letting you know. You jealous of the love, it's starting to show. Trying to hold us back, but we still gon' flow. So sip your big OT, we'll steal the whole show. Cause the future of the Finns ain't behind no O. So here's your invite, Big O, tailgate's open. Bring your pride, bring your mic. Just don't bring that gate, it don't fit here no more.
And there you have it. Boy, that HP, man, he can drop bars, man.
Capitan. Slapdicks. No, it was El Capitan.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, everybody.
Yeah, Big O's a bitch, too. He's already scheming up ways right now to blame Mike McDaniel for everything. And so are Reason and the rest of those hoes. Everything's Mike McDaniel's fault. And you know what? Mike McDaniel kind of sucks too. Let's call it for what it is. But it ain't all his fault. The only fault he has is that he believed in Tua. And he believed all you fucking idiots. That's his fucking fault. What's he say, Color? I can't read it.
This Big O is appalled. He's about to send a restraining order.
Good. Good. Yeah, go ahead, ho. Go ahead. I'll put that shit on so much blast. I don't give a fuck. Capitan.
We ran into OJ last week outside the stadium, and
Yeah, what'd
then
he say?
no, he didn't say nothing. He was like, well, this is gonna be a long one, basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did it have vodka in it and peach schnapps or what?
No, just regular old
Yeah.
juice man.
Oh, juice, man. I was like, we might can get you back in uniform, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe he can catch some passes.
If it's 3rd and long, I'm throwing it to him.
Yeah. Missed the first down right there.
Color, let's go to some of these Mike McDaniel clips because Tua basically, he says,
All right,
okay,
but I'm
I need.
taking a 20 after break real quick. Hold on.
All right, no problem. Let's keep it
Mhm.
cooking. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's recap a little bit here while we're waiting for Color to get his bearings on him. Tua Tagovailoa comes out with his post game presser. That starts off with what I like to call an accountability bullshit sandwich. He starts off with his own little accountability and then creates the bullshit excuses with and here's the thing, right? You can have 2 pieces of bread, right? Accountability top bread, accountability bottom bread. But no one's eating bread sandwiches. It's about the meat in the middle. The meat in the middle of his presser was that he's blaming other people. Everyone else is to blame. We were off miscues. We weren't on the same page. It's wet out here. It's rainy. I mean, Crypto, you heard Tua.
When
Mike
his last
McDaniel,
question?
you heard Tua on his excuse sandwich. And Mike
Oh, yeah, yeah.
McDaniel, yeah, Mike McDaniel, who in more ways than one, Tua is essentially saying, I have to do everything. I'm multitasking. I've got too much to do. It's hard to multitask, keep everyone together, do everything. And Mike McDaniel has to be thinking to himself, this son of a bitch, after everything I've done for this kid, he's trying to maneuver the masses against me to
Yep.
blame
Yep.
him. That
Two was like, hey, Omar, come over here. I have a maneuver.
exactly. So Mike McDaniel, who got the memo from Chris Greer and company that Tua is, they're looking to potentially move on from him. Go ahead, Color.
Well, Nightwolf, thank you much for the $5
He's doing
donation.
damage control. Yeah.
Yeah, if you notice when he says I gotta be better, he immediately follows it up with, but we gotta stick together. Yeah, or we gotta be better at this or that or the other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
This is damage control.
it kind of reminds me of how McDaniel I don't know, Crypto. Maybe it's just me. Once again, thank you, Nightwolf, for the $5 donation. But Crypto, you know how and one of the things that I think Dave Chappelle makes Dave Chappelle a really gifted comedian is sometimes his delivery is just impeccable. Like he'll be leading you up to something for a while, and then he'll slip the punchline in with really fast talk, and say something really quick. And if you missed it, it's the entire punchline of the joke.
Right.
You ever notice Chappelle doing that, man? Every once in a while, like he'll be leading you along and then just be like, yeah, and then it was this. And you're supposed to laugh your ass off because it was the whole punchline of the joke. You know,
Right.
that's how McDaniel was today when he
Yeah, sure.
mentioned finally that Tua just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
He was like, and Tua just wasn't good enough. So yeah, you know what I mean? Kind of like Dave Chappelle when he
Yeah.
delivers one of them jokes like that, dude.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy
But
was good at it too.
he also said something that
Yeah.
was very telling. Color. And this is a little bit from what I understand. He said, we're going to go into the film and we're going to look at it because it was painfully obvious. And I want to say Chris Greer gave Mike McDaniel the memo that the boss was going to be in the building to see this game. And Tua, when Mike McDaniel's talking about looking at the film, I don't think anyone needs to really look at the untrained eye of a billionaire whose time and energy has been given to pretty much nothing but fucking making himself super rich with his real estate investments his entire career. Even his untrained eye can look from his box seats in the visiting stadium of Cleveland and say, this fucking quarterback sucks. You don't have to be a statistician. You don't have to know the game of football. I can show this to any Pop Warner fucking football kid's first year that's 7 years old, and they go, "What the hell is this? Is this how the game is played? Why is this guy playing it so badly?"
Sorry to interrupt, but you're hearkening back to something I keep mentioning over and over again about Ross.
Go ahead, Color.
Despite people saying all the time, "Oh, he ain't a football guy. Oh, we need football guys in the building." He's still a football fan. You don't go buy a football team if you're not at least at Color's fan status.
Color, he's been trying to buy a football team since the 80s. Don't forget.
Right.
People forget.
I would think that you're at least at the status of my mom when it comes to your fandom.
Mm-hmm. He knows it's a good business investment, but he also likes the game.
Is trash. My mother can see our quarterback is trash. So why wouldn't Ross be able to see that? As just a normal football fan. The guy he's been watching his whole life. You don't become an owner of a football team in the NFL if you ain't been watching every Sunday just like the rest of us. He sees all these other quarterbacks for the last couple drafts all doing good, all at least being serviceable in their rookie and second years in the league. We saw one today. Same exact stat line as our 6-year quarterback, 5th overall pick, but somehow this guy still commands 31 points. You talk about the team all you want. There's still a guy in command of that team. And you're telling me Dylan Gabriel is more efficient than Tua when it comes to putting up points?
A lot more efficient.
The Browns turned into the 49ers all of a sudden and can win with anybody?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, they're pretty much the Niners.
They've been playing garbage offenses. And to our defense's credit, even though it looks like we got rolled all over today, we only gave up 84 yards, 86 yards. The running game box score for both teams looks identical.
Pretty much as a wash. It came down to the passing game.
And Gabriel didn't even throw any tutties, Crypto. He just didn't throw 3 interceptions.
Yep. A lot of people underestimate the power of not turning over the ball. They used to criticize Daniel Jones all the time for not throwing touchdowns. They also forgot that he led the league in the least amount of interception percentage. And he didn't hurt you neither.
Exactly. You know who didn't throw interceptions either? Joe Flacco when he was beating Tom Brady in Foxborough in primetime. He's the only one that has. And we all surprised when he did what he did the other night. All of us except for Tonk, who is very astutely pointed out, people pick on Tonk a lot about, oh, he don't keep up and he ain't as deep in the weeds as the rest of us when it comes to certain, following the whole thing and whatever else. But you know what? He's been here pointing out, I don't care what you all say. What is wrong with Flacco? All he does is win.
Right. Exactly. He's a winner. Exactly.
I don't care if he's 400 years old. Everybody gets, Aaron Rodgers, what is he going to do? He's done exactly what Flacco has done in his career. One Super Bowl.
Yeah. And at least he can throw the ball 70 yards and give you a shot
Yeah.
at with 3 seconds to go.
And trust me, Flacco can make the Aaron Rodgers throws too. He just never needed to.
No. I'll say nobody deserved to criticize Aaron Rodgers ever again. He at least gave them a shot at winning with 2 seconds to go. We get an interception, damn near pick six with the same amount of time left in the game. But we got a guy that's 400 years old, throws the ball 70 yards and gives his team a shot.
Right. The Skins lost Jaden Daniels today in the third quarter.
Right.
If you don't think that a quarterback makes that big of a difference, okay, well, they lost 44 to something or other, 44 to 22.
Yeah, 44 to 22, yeah.
Sorry
Looks
about
like
that,
our
Color.
quarterback room has been equalized, though. Now, Color, we can officially say our quarterback room rating is the same. The QBR, they're all the same.
Apparently, Crypto Mike McDaniel thought as I. If you're better than Zach Wilson, then you're inherently better than Tua.
Right.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing: we're gonna get. I want to get into that in a second, but I also want to. I want to finish up. I want to play some of these Michael McDaniel clips now that Cap's
Yeah.
back. But I do
Color,
want to
what's the-
entertain the question. This is going to be for a little later. I want to get it. I want to plant the seed in everybody's mind. I started to in the post game. Did we keep Zach Wilson out today on purpose for the
Yes.
reason that he may be the guy Mike McDaniel goes with next? And just to start to get your juices flowing, it's obvious that Mike McDaniel elevated Ewers today, knowing that the scenario that played out was a very real possibility.
Obviously.
And he figured I already know what I got with Wilson. Might as well put the kid in. You know, if what I think's going to happen happens, right? So he was prepared, but he prepared himself with the number 3, with the rookie Quinn Ewers, and everybody wants with good reason. Everybody wants to think, oh well, he's the guy we'll roll with the rest of the season if they do in fact bench Tua permanently. But I'm not so sure, because is it possible that Zach Wilson was kept out because, number one, we already know, so he's already had his turn in the QB2 competition as far as playing in live action NFL. Quinn Ewers has the jitters knocked off today. He can get into practice this week. And I'm just saying, Zach Wilson is fresh, took no damage today, and can start off in practice with the number 1 group this week. If McDaniel was under the impression that he was going to have to bench Tua today to begin with. So the guy he kept out is the guy he wanted to keep fresh, is what I'm suggesting. Keep that all in the back.
Maybe.
Roll that question over. Is Zach Wilson the guy we're going with next week? In the meantime, we're going to get to some of these. We're going to start with this the breaking news tweet that you made, Cap.
Yeah, because what's that at right now, Color? As far as views.
That one's not as much as the other one.
All right, well, let's that's not the breaking news one then.
Oh, yeah, it says breaking news. Mike McDaniel just put Tua on notice.
Yeah.
656.
Okay.
But 3,800 likes, though. How's that possible? Oh, no, that's bookmarks. That's bookmarks. Oh, I'm reading it wrong. Oh, 440,000 views almost $500,000.
All right.
All right, so let me go back to full screen. Let me bring it up into the studio, and we'll get this booger cooking. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Were extremely preventable from Tua, and he knows that he was it just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and change our style of play if we have to. We'll do everything's on the table. When you go to a game, you fully know that you have the capability to win and get handed a very, very humbling loss.
So we're
Listen
gonna
to what he
dissect
says
this.
there, Color.
He said so much there. I want to go piece by piece.
Yeah, let's do it.
First of all, well, yeah, let me play it again, and I'm going to stop it right where we all, kind of need to make. I think we're all in agreement where we need to stop and make a few points. So I'm going to try it. If you guys need me to stop anywhere else extra, just let me know. So here we go.
We're extremely preventable from Tua, and he knows that he was it just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and
right there.
Right
You
there.
hear what I'm saying? What I was talking about earlier, man?
The timing joke from him. Tua knows he just wasn't good at it. And we're going to have to look at the film.
Just wasn't good enough. So next question, yeah, we're going to work on a, yeah.
It just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and change our style of play if we have to.
Change our style of play if we have to. Well, that can really only mean one thing when your style of play was that you're playing right now was specifically constructed to cater to Tua. So if you're talking about changing your style, you're talking about changing your quarterback.
Well, real quick, Color. What's the other left-handed quarterback on our team? What's his name?
Zach Wilson.
That's right. We don't have another left-handed quarterback on our fucking team.
Oh, that's right.
We don't have another left-handed quarterback. So when we're changing the style, inherently, from a left to a righty, you're already changing the style. That's number one.
Does he mean style from southpaw to something else? Right?
I mean, Color, style means everything. Style means everything. I don't know if you noticed this or not. I didn't see Quinn Ewers throw behind the line of scrimmage once, other than maybe one or. I mean, again, I saw him pushing the ball down the field a lot.
Yeah, they ran one screen on when we were on like 3rd and 13 or something.
Yeah. Again.
But even if you don't talk about being left and right-handed, which is a great point, by the way, I hadn't considered. You're talking about a guy that was brought in. Remember, Crypto, the 700 plays?
Yeah.
You're talking about an offense, a style that was specifically constructed for Tua.
And what did he say he was going to do? Get into the film, Color. He said the film.
Let's continue.
Well, go back a little bit, because listen to what he says, because it's all one thought.
Sure.
Change our style of play if we have to. We'll do everything's on the table. When you go to a game, you fully know that you have the capability to win and
put it on pause there, Color.
Isn't that something we always say? We've said for 5 years that we know we have the capability to win. What's holding us back?
Not only that, Color, but Mike McDaniel's saying not only did we do everything's on the table for change and changing, even if it means style, changing everything. And we go on the field with everything we know with full capabilities to win. Everything's on the table to change because we need to change the style. What more could he mean by that other than the quarterback?
Well, because you're right, because if he's on one token, he's saying we have the capability to win. On the other token, he's saying we need to change what we're doing so we can win.
Yeah.
Well, all the guys you have that you say are capable of winning because of what you're doing. aside from the quarterback style aspect of it.
Well, rewind it all the way to again, because
I mean,
we're getting it all
is
bit
a
by
West
bit.
Coast. A West Coast is a West Coast. And again, real quick, before I rewind it, I don't know if Crypto had heard what I had said in the post game earlier, but Crypto, tell me if you disagree, but when you're talking about this guy is like starting to stand up and get really frustrated with the fact that he believes he's running a standard West Coast, dude. Now he might be tailoring it and calling plays and making certain formation choices because of Tua.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's like, no, he's been since he was a pup in the league running out baseball bats. He was in Denver. He's been with the Shanahan West Coast system.
Yeah, since the beginning.
And so Tua is embarrassing that system, dude. And he sits there on a Sunday night and watches the likes of the Chiefs and the Bills and the Eagles put up big numbers in the same system.
Well, here's taking system aside,
and everybody
Keller.
wants to throw shade on it. So it's like he's starting to stand up for the West Coast, bro. You know what I mean?
I can see what you're saying, Keller, and I'm not going to push back on that. We can read into that. But I'm also seeing Mike McDaniel not just believe in his West Coast system, but his own abilities with this comment. Because this is, again, like you guys pointed out.
Right, but where do his abilities come from, Cap?
The coach.
What does he rely his abilities on?
I know. Again, the coach that got into the film and tailor-made his West Coast system for this quarterback with 700 plays and has continued tailoring.
And the fans want to throw that system into the fire and blame it. And he doesn't want to take that.
Yeah, he's fighting
Not
back.
only does he not want to take that, Color, but I think he's proved to himself and his abilities that he can do it.
Right, exactly. He has
not just know the system.
He's not just an NFL coach. He is like when it comes to like tribal and clans and all that. He is West Coast, bro. It's a matter of pride for him, dude. Us throwing shade on his system, bro, because he ain't got a guy that can do when he looks at it. Doesn't even have to be Mahomes, but 80% of the league is running the West Coast, and he's watching all of these other quarterbacks, even brand new ones, already starting to thrive in the league because he knows what the West Coast was designed to do and why it's making these quarterbacks look good.
And he knows that he could also take. He could also take, and he knows through proving it to himself that he can get in the film room and make this West Coast offense for another quarterback.
And for example, real quick, to further what I had just said, when it comes to the West Coast making quarterbacks look good, oh boy, weren't we all ready to go change our minds about Trevor Lawrence until he faced a defense that knows how to defeat the West Coast. Then he looks like the Trevor Lawrence we've seen his entire career today.
Yeah, this morning. Yep, 100%. Because Sean McVay knows how to beat the West Coast because he coaches up his defense to beat it.
So does his defensive coordinator who coaches against it every day.
And remember who started that defense over there with him? What was his name from Dallas? The guy who invented the way to beat it against the
Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips invented the defense to beat the West Coast. Let's continue on.
You know, proof's in the pudding. That's what
let's start this over. Let's start this over and hear it because now by breaking it down, it tells a real real tale. It tells a real tale.
I'm gonna start it from the beginning.
Were extremely preventable from Tua, and he knows that he was it just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and change our style of play.
Well, real quick, why watch the tape if you're gonna excuse Tua for those plays? Why watch the tape?
Yeah, and why change your style if it's an excuse too?
Yeah,
you don't need to change the style. If Tua didn't do anything wrong, we just did bad today.
Right. So by him saying right here,
from Tua, and he knows that.
He knows that. Of course he knows that. And I expect him to not do it because he knows that.
It just wasn't good enough. So we'll
just wasn't good enough. So we'll what? Not excuse him and look at the tape.
Watch the tape and change our style of play if we have to. We'll do everything's on the table. When you go to a game,
you change our style of play
if we have
everything's on the table.
He still doesn't want to let go, though. He still doesn't want to let go, though. He's like, if we have to.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Color,
you have to.
He also knows too. Everything's on the table. He knew this heading into the game. That's why he elevated Ewers to begin with.
Bingo,
he also knows.
bingo.
He also knows, Color, that the writing's on the walls. The mainstream media's onto his neck. The fucking upper brass is out looking in public manner reported upon. Chris Greer looking at people at the quarterback position. It is, the word is out. The tides are turning. And Chris Greer and the Dolphins upper brass have made it very clear. And Mike McDaniel in this game made it clear. He's got to look other places.
Now Max Jones showing Tua how to put a game away.
Yep.
Max
Jones, tell you what,
you know what's funny too, Crypto? I actually took some defensive players from Atlanta thinking that McCorkle was going to start to flounder, bro. That's funny you say that.
Oh yeah, oh you took defenders on that team, right? Now he comes in and he gets a home win, basically.
Well, he started to flounder last week, so I thought maybe his little flash in the pan was sizzling away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they had the number one passing team as far as numbers.
Well, because they were talking about not to get too spun out on it, but what's his name? Brock Purdy's starting to heal up, so they were talking about whether he's going to come back in right away. Oracle's got the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're gonna let him play out.
Back in the beginning, one more time from the top.
Well, but before you go, Color, Shanahan has proven with his West Coast system and his ability to retool his offense, insert quarterback here, and we're going to be successful. From Garoppolo,
yeah, he's having success. He's having success with Mr. Irrelevant and the guy that everybody says Tua is better than.
And fucking Garoppolo, who, they ended up again, all of this is under the Shanahan time in San Fran. Now, listen again. Mike McDaniel can prove to this organization that he's capable of doing that as well. And when
I think he's only going to be able to do that with a veteran.
Color, if you're talking about pride and Mike McDaniel having his pride wrapped up in this West Coast offense and his abilities, he will prove that and get his chance to pick a quarterback. Now you say,
I think he's going to do that through the veteran, not Quinn Ewers, and I think that's why he sat Zach today to keep him fresh.
Maybe.
Otherwise, he would have benched Tua earlier instead of just giving Ewers 2 series.
I don't know. We'll see.
What McDaniel was looking to see was, I'm only going to give Ewers 2 series. If he comes in and balls the freak out and puts a tutty on the board, I might just go with him instead of Zach next week. But in case he doesn't do that, I've kept Zach fresh and kept him out of this game.
Well, also giving a good example to say I can resurgence guys like Zach Wilson as well.
Right. Right. To your point about him trying to save his job, you're only going to do that with a veteran. Even though people don't believe in Zach, like you said earlier, McDaniel believes in his system. McDaniel believes in the Shanahan way.
And his
abilities. Believes Zach Wilson is good enough to operate in that system and succeed. Whether Zach Wilson is a star or not is irrelevant. McCorkle's not a star, but he's succeeding right now.
And that's just it. We don't need a star. Mike McDaniel
Isn't
doesn't
that what
need a
everybody
star.
says, Cap? We don't need a star. We just need somebody to succeed.
Exactly. And we don't need a star. Mike McDaniel doesn't need a star on a season on the fritz at 1-6. He needs
Right. 1-6
to do what
is not
everyone.
succeeding. Our
Yes.
box score for our quarterback today is not succeeding.
No,
Sorry to tell you.
what he needs to do is what everyone needs to do. That's everyone seems to be doing right now. Is like Miss Finns and I were talking about during the game broadcast. Everyone needs to build their fucking resumes to either keep their job or get a job next year. And Mike McDaniel, for better or for worse, whether he's going to stay with Miami, and he said that in the earlier part of his press conference about doing everything he can as the head coach here and stuff like that, to also what he's going to have to show on film for his next job if they do run him up out of here.
And that's the thing about the West Coast that I meant.
Tua ain't it.
Right. And
So he
that's
might
the
as well
thing I
go
meant
with
about
somebody
the
else.
West Coast, because he's looking at it like he's heard all of the shade being thrown, not just this week, but for the past season or two about his system. And he knows damn well that he's hamstrung and can't really show people what he can do. And whether that's true or not, it's what he believes.
Yeah, he's got to believe it down below.
Right. And the thing of it is especially with it getting ramped up this week, and now Tua exacerbating it by basically throwing the entire organization, including him, under the bus. He's like, okay, all gloves are off. I guess there's no love, and all's fair in love and war, right? You know, or whatever that old saying is. You know what I mean? So
that's it.
Here we go. I need Zach Wilson to run this West Coast so people will stop fucking shitting on Shanahan's shit.
Maybe.
Because Shanahan and everybody else that's running Shanahan's shit is doing just fine.
Well, I would say Stefanski's not doing that great, but then again, he's with the Browns, so who knows?
Well, I don't know what they're running, but I would imagine it's West
They run
Coast.
on the West Coast, but he didn't really run it today. He ran old school West Coast on us today. You saw what they were running.
Well, yeah.
They ran.
but again,
they
that
ran
kid's
original
a rookie,
West
dude.
Coast.
That kid's a rookie.
I know, but Stefanski's been trying to. That's why they had him with Deshaun Watson. They wanted to get Deshaun Watson to run it and have that mobility factor out of that, but it never panned out, and they've been trying to get it going ever since with anyone and everyone.
Well,
so again,
all I know is Mike McDaniel. Whether, to my point about about the West Coast, bro. I mean, regardless, they still won 31-6. It don't matter if his box score was as shitty as Tua's. He didn't have 3 interceptions.
Right. And that's the point of the West Coast, is to minimize turnover.
Right. It's supposed to, it's literally designed to exemplify every player's attributes.
And it's also to get defenses moving laterally and then have these open little window spots.
Right.
It has a lot of things.
So based on that, Cap, would you agree that based on that logic, that in that type of system, the style is going to be based on the abilities and attributes
of the quarterback,
player, right?
Outside of the walled garden.
So if he wants to change our style, what would he have to do to change the style of the West? He would
have to change the quarterback.
He'd have to change the players, at least, like in general.
Yeah, change the quarterback.
Let's start it over, Keller. Go ahead.
Yep, from the top.
Were extremely preventable from Tua, and he knows that he was it just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and change our style of play if we have to. We'll do everything's on the table. When you go to a game, you fully know that you have the capability to win and get handed a very, very humbling loss.
What was that he said? Oh, everything's on the table. But the question is, McDaniel, is everybody at the table? Yeah.
Hit
You
the
know,
like button, everybody. We got about 500 watching on all platforms. If you're watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, wherever you guys are watching, come over here to YouTube. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get in with the program here. Color, I think we might need to go ahead and pull up Mike McDaniel's full interview and go through it because we didn't get to finish it in the earlier
yeah,
broadcast.
yeah, and that way because I got 2 more clips, but it's gonna end up taking as much time as just running the whole thing, I guess. Yeah, how long was it? Like 10, 20
It-
minutes?
Yeah, not even. I think it was like 15 minutes max.
All right, let me find it on the boob tube.
So hit the like button, everybody. Again, the real question of this program, of this show today is again, I don't foresee any wholesale changes coming with somebody being fired or cut, but changes be a coming. Now, does that look like players sitting out and holding on for the trade deadline? I would say yes. I would say that's the first thing that's going to come out is, they're going to say Waddle's banged up. They're going to say A-Chan's banged up. They're probably going to hold a couple of these other guys out.
Anybody that we plan on that we think we might trade is not gonna play for the going forward.
Does Tua get a crybaby discharge, right? Does he get like the crybaby, boo-hoo, I'm sore type of something? Because they pulled him out of the game.
Instead of a true benching, yeah.
Instead of a true benching, do they give Tua
we found out he was concussed. That's why we benched him in the 4th, and we were losing, and he was concussed. So
or something even more simpler,
concussed.
right? Something even a little bit more simpler that he's got a soft tissue injury on his knee, and they're kind of and it'll also benefit everyone else. It'll give him time to have Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers take all of the first team reps for the first practice or second practice, see who practices better, and then game plan for who the starter and who the backup will be.
Oh yeah,
give them
Greg
this week
nailed
to
it.
look at it.
Greg's nailed it. The
His
hip
hip.
will
Yes.
start flaring up again. Yep.
Yes, the hip.
Definitely.
These types of things. Yes.
So I'm gonna let it run for first few seconds because I gotta go hit the head.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back. Here you go.
What can you say about this game? He's
coordinated. No, I think he did everything to lose the game. I think you saw a lot of frustrated players, from the season, allow it to seep into our play and keep us from executing. So the list goes on. You -4 or 100 yards and 11 penalties. 2 formulas that generally will equal immediate loss regardless of what you do. So, I think a game like this, I think we didn't see coming in terms of our prep, but you absolutely, with 100% certainty, have to evaluate everything. I think it goes for no person or no player or no coach is got their hands clean, and we have to go back to work and starting with me, do a better job. We have a NFL opponent and game next week that we have a lot of work to do in this meantime. This was a step back for how we play football. I thought we had growth, and generally growth without results is a good thing for your team. In this case, it was not good enough, and you can go on any tangent and be at least partially right, regardless of what angle you take when you get beat like that.
In other words, we're growing and we're happy with ourselves and what we did today, but we know that the fans have had enough. So, yeah, I guess we're out of time. I guess that's what he meant there. But did he say in the beginning, did I misunderstand him saying that, yeah, he did everything he could to lose today? Was he talking about Tua?
Yes. Started from the beginning, Color.
Because I walked away to hit the bathroom, and I'm like, wait, did I just hear that right? Hold on.
What can you say about this game? It was kind of
Yeah.
coordinated.
No, I think he did everything to lose the game. I think you saw a lot of frustrated players.
Who is he? I couldn't hear the question from the reporter. Let me try again. Hold on. Let me turn it way up.
What can you say about this game? It was kind of
Yeah.
coordinated.
No, I think he did everything to lose the game. I
think
you
you
saw
did everything.
a lot of
I don't know
frustrated
who he's-
players. From the season,
Anyway.
the board, the people that you're working with, and we're professionals that.
Year where it really hasn't paid off.
There we go.
How do you get it to pay off as soon as next week? Because it's
Yeah, no, three losses in this league in a row are always take its toll. You honestly get to see across the
really?
board, the people that you're working with, and we're professionals that need to do our jobs better. So you don't hold anything back. You're very clear in front of the team. The tape never lies. We'll have probably 20 plays that are self-inflicted wounds, and you can't even get on to beating the opponent if you beat yourself. So that's where it is, and we have a long work week ahead of us that we need to make very impactful, and I think the locker room knows that.
You said frustrated players. Is that as the game goes on, or is that?
I felt. I mean, guys have been frustrated with the season, and believe in each other a lot more than our record indicates. So, I just felt like emotional overreactions early in the first half, while being very competitive. But the four, I think there was 4 drives sustained by penalties defensively, and I could feel that building up. And then you come out the gate the second half, and you have a fumble on special teams, and then a 1-play pick six. The guys were frustrated throughout the game, and I thought it didn't help us. It made us worse. There was late hits on 2 occasions, personal fouls. That isn't, we haven't majored in that. So we found a different way to kind of undo our game. And there's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to assess a different player, and I have to coach a lot better as well. So we.
Hold it right there, Color, because I got a lot.
Yep, and that's the part that is sticking in everybody's craw right there. We have got a lot to talk about with that freaking statement, dude. Go ahead, Cap. Start us down the road of dissemination as to what the hell he was talking about right there, man.
All right, so Mike McDaniel spoke like a head
By the
coach
way,
just
good
now.
evening, Nene. Good to see you in chat. And Miss Pam. You both.
Hey, Miss Pam. Hey, Nene. Hit the like button, ladies.
What's going on,
Dolphins
man?
ladies. Shout out to the Dolphins ladies. Hit the like button. I'm going to translate for Mike McDaniel on what he's saying, because he really just spoke like a head coach there and not an offensive coordinator. And that's why people are getting a little bit confused. Okay. He pointed out some things. and all are true. And he started it off by saying you could grab a hold of any one narrative and you're going to be right now because that's how bad of a game the team played. But he then started adding context to what bad looked like and then why. Right? He then said the defense the defense committed a couple of penalties and I could feel it rising is what he's talking about. Then there was a special teams fumble. Okay. Other penalties started showing up, late hits, frustration started to build. Then he said, we need to look at the film, hold people accountable, and make the right adjustments and changes. But also, I got to address the players that are routinely hurting this football team. Now, I don't know about y'all, but he also said in that too, we found a new way to undo ourselves by shooting ourselves in the foot. So the routinely can't be new. That means the penalties are not routine. So when he's talking about the penalties and pointing things out to people, there is maybe somebody that we're not thinking of that is routinely hurting the team via penalties that he might address. But ultimately, that wasn't his point. His point was, and this is where he spoke by a head coach. He said he could feel it coming. And he could feel about what I talked about last week, which was coming. That the offense can't do anything. The quarterback can do even less. And the defense and special teams are trying to do everything they can to win the game. And it's causing this team to be without balance. And without balance, you're going to create mistakes. Guys are doing too much. They're getting frustrated. They're trying to win the game on every play on defense and on special teams, which is causing blunders. And then he says, I need to evaluate the player, and if there's a better player, play them. That was a direct, subliminal sidewinder of a shot to call out the quarterback. That's exactly what that was. No one will tell me different. Listen to the totality of the second part of that question. That is exactly what he just fucking said, Color.
100%. And I'll tell you why. And I'll a lot of it's what the same take I had in post game. And I'm gonna there's almost 500 people watching right now. Shout out to all of you. Come over on YouTube and hit the like button. For the majority of you that did not hear what I said, why would he say all that about any of the other positions on the team? Forget players. We're talking about positions here. We're talking about the mundane, many other positions that the 52 other guys occupy that nobody's ever had to say, if you're routinely doing this and that, and I'm going to, I can't be a friend here anymore. I got to be a coach. First of all, you never have to say that to anybody but a star quarterback. And secondly, you certainly wouldn't say it to them publicly unless you're talking about one position and one position only, because that's the only position anybody's asking about. Nobody in the media yet last week was asking about whether we're going to bench Waddle or bench Sealer or bench anybody else on the team.
Maybe Jalen Phillips.
Maybe, but no.
Not really.
Even Jalen Phillips, bro. Because as I pointed out to you, he still disrupted the play enough for them to get the check down, to cause a check down that went to the 45-yard line, didn't even make it to midfield.
And I would say,
so I can tell you that he was not talking about that rookie corner that fell on his ass. He certainly wasn't talking about him. Nobody was asking about him.
Now, okay, is he talking about?
Bro, this is just like, bro, I'm not going to get all political, but this is like when people talk about, why do people always fixate on this, that, or the other? And it's because that's the only thing that's different between sides. You see what I'm saying? We're not focusing on what we agree on.
We're focusing on what's the problem.
And we all are in disagreement as to how to fix that problem. So we only talk about we don't talk about what we agree on. Okay, nobody's asking. McDaniel doesn't need to sit up here publicly and make sure everybody on the team who nobody was asking about knows that they could possibly be benched. Nobody was asking about those players and those positions. There's only one position and one player anybody's been asking about.
Well, I've only seen Mike McDaniel in game bench one person, Keller.
You did say, what about Jalen Phillips? Yeah, because we as fans have been talking about him, but ain't no Stephen A. Smith talking about Jalen Phillips, dude.
Well, Keller, I promise you this: the reports coming out about Chris Greer at college games all week. He wasn't looking at fucking pass rushers.
Right. Ain't no Mike Florio talking about Jalen Phillips.
Nope. It wasn't Jalen Phillips in the mainstream media all fucking week because he put his foot in his mouth at the podium. Rewind it a little bit, Color, because there was he was long-winded, but it was short of us and because it was honest.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mike McDaniel gets 6 or 7 words off in a row, that's the honest thought. The
I wanted to point that about
damage control.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out about what he had said earlier in the last clip about when he said that Tua knows and he just wasn't good enough.
We're gonna get that coming up next, but let's not.
Right,
let's,
but what
let's,
I'm
let's
saying,
rewind
but as far as that being an example of, hey, if Tua wants to talk candidly all week last week and shit on my system, then I'm gonna talk candidly now.
Yeah, shit on him and his offense and his system that was working so well for Tua. But I'm sorry, Tua, we lost Tyreek Hill, which was your blankie, and I don't know what to tell you. You got your BB still. You still got your Binky and fucking Von Achan, but you lost your blankie and Tyreek Hill.
And here's the unfortunate difference for Tua, and this is the life lesson he's about to learn. If anybody in the national media, Stephen A. Smith, any of these other people, want to say, McDaniel, it's not your place to that's private stuff. That's meant to stay in what? The locker room? The building? No. It's precisely Mike McDaniel, the head coach's place to say what he's saying publicly.
Yeah, he's the coach.
Nobody's going to fault him for doing what Tua did last week.
No, he's the fucking
National
coach.
Running Backs Day. Why is everybody putting on robes?
I don't know.
McCaffrey and everybody's putting on robes. It's National Running Backs Day. I didn't know that.
All
right, here we go. Let's replay this here from the 3-minute mark.
And I think the locker room knows that.
Locker room.
Perfect, Color. Leave it there.
I felt. I mean, you guys have been frustrated with the season, and believe in each other a lot more than our record indicates. So, I just felt like emotional overreactions early in the first half, while being very competitive. But the
Color, put it on pause. Emotional overreactions, and he's being a coach by seeing it, knowing it, and recognizing what it was. The defense and special teams were having emotional overreactions because the game wasn't, but they've been a part of this season where the quarterback's losing them the game. And they're their emotions are getting the best of them, trying to make plays, trying to make something happen to counterbalance what the offense can't do. Press play.
And I can even imagine how it began on the sideline, Cap. If
I know what it feels like, Color.
You brought up a good point about the special teams and the defense, but mainly the special teams.
Yes.
Because I can imagine D. Eskridge coming off the field after that fumble. And the offensive players saying something to the effect of, damn, man, or whatever, and acting like he's the reason we're 1-6.
All right, Color.
1-5 at the time. 1-5 at the time. So I can imagine D saying, God damn, my average is 25 yards of freaking return. I fumble once and y'all are going to act like what? And that's where it started, dude. I guarantee it, man.
Well, I don't know if it was just D, but Color, I'm
No, not
gonna
just,
switch.
but I'm saying that's where
Yeah,
the
but it's one of
snowball
many.
started to
It's one of
gather.
many.
So, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah, it's one of many. I'm gonna change my mic real quick. Let me know if this sounds better, Color. Does that sound better?
it sounds weirder, but it
Yeah,
sounds
it
more
sounds
clear,
good.
and there's no breakup anymore.
Yeah.
It sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better in the long run. Yeah.
I mean, let me know in chat, people. Because
Do you have any more? Do you have any more volume adjustment on your mic?
Let me see.
If not, I'll turn you. Oh, you're almost up all the way.
Let me do echo cancellation in that. How's that?
No, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's still good. I mean, but I mean on your actual. What are you on your phone or something?
No, I'm using the Bluetooth in the car.
Oh, right on, right on.
Well, chat. Let us know. Is this mic better, or should I go back to the other mic?
Well, it's clearer. You're not skipping. You're not skipping anymore, so it's clearer. But it's a little more like you're talking through a CB radio.
Yeah.
Not that there's any static, but that you're like almost like you're calling a game from a radio station or something. Like, ladies and gentlemen, if you did that stuff, it would fit perfectly right now.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to sound like I'm fucking hit a can, but all right, chat. Let me know.
No, but
Is
if
it
you
better
put
like
on
this?
if you put on the 1950s reporter voice, it works perfect, dude.
That takes energy I ain't got right now. All right, let's. I guess
it's better. It's better for like
auto-tune.
as far as dealing with the skipping in our ear. It's better. You know, I would say in the long run, it's better.
All right, whatever.
All right, you want me to start this back up?
Well, I was trying to hit on another point.
I'll rewind it anyway.
Yeah, rewind it a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, press play. I want to hear it because I got to remember my point now.
I mean, you guys have been frustrated with the season, and believe in each other a lot more than our record indicates. So,
why would belief in them reflect on your record? You either execute or you don't. It don't matter if you believe in each other.
He didn't say. Well, it does, because that's why the guys on special teams and on this is what I was going to say, Color. He said he felt it coming, and that the guys were kind of emotionally overreacting because they believe in each other. Defense. And listen, I never played quarterback. I didn't really have a lot of interest in playing quarterback. I wasn't a wide receiver or anything like that. And I know, as a guy who specialized playing defense, that sometimes you need a spark in the game. Sometimes offense ain't cooking. Sometimes there's no rhythm. Sometimes the defense sparks it. Well, when you're asking the defense to be that spark all game long to do anything, you're bound.
You think the defense finally snapped?
I think they snapped, Color.
You think 3 or 4 of the defensive players and maybe some of the special teams players snapped, and then it caused basically like the offense to say, well, we believe in all this guy and all this shit. And it basically started a war right there on the sideline.
I played on good teams. I played on bad teams. And at some point, defensive guys snap. Mainly because that's how we handle things on defense. I just want to hurt you now. And so typically, I'm mad and angry, so I'm going to put mad and anger on you. And that's usually the fuel in defense. But it's better to be anger and madness while you're kind of in a flow, not emotional. And this team is becoming emotional.
So a lot of it could have also been, Cap, not to interrupt you, but to further your point, is like the rest of the defense saying, hey, like in other words, because of the extra penalties and stupid stuff like that, the late hit, they're talking about the offense is probably throwing shade when they're getting back on, and they're like, yo.
They're already in their fucking heads knowing that they're blaming the defense. They're already in their heads knowing
that the offense, we got to do something this drive to do something, because when the offense comes back out here, they're going to shit on themselves,
And
and I'm
then
going to be
because of
forced
that,
to do
and it,
something in
right,
first
right, and because
position.
of that, and because of that, it causes a mistake to be made, which is then thrown in their face.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just like the fans
You're
have
mad
been
at
doing
me
to
for the
them for
mistake
5
I made,
years.
when I'm mad at y'all for putting me in this position.
Just like the fans have been doing for 5 years, Cap, throwing it right in the
Color,
defense
it's like
face, bro.
it's like a whole bunch of people crowd around you and get all up in your personal space until you snap and start beating the shit out of everybody, and then people that are watching are going, look at this bad man fighting everyone. No, y'all backed me in a corner and forced my hand to react, and when I react and you don't like it, you're then poo-pooing and pointing your finger at me, and it only makes defensive guys further become enraged.
Yeah,
Somebody's
football
going to
does
get their
kind of
fucking
cause
ass whipped.
football does kind of breed passive aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Like you can only take so much, and then when you snap, you flip out, and everybody's like, "Where'd that come from?" You know, and you can't talk to people that way. And
I can only
hey, everything's on the table, and I'm a West Coast coach now, and I need a better quarterback.
They listen. The Tua sexuals the last 2 weeks, not including this game, blame the defense because Tua.
Well, I'm talking about for 5 seasons, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it's not as if the defensive problems we've been seeing have been what we've been seeing for 5 years. We've had much better defense, and it still gets thrown under the bus.
For 5 seasons, we've tried to blame the quarterback while everyone and everything else has been blamed other than the quarterback. It's enough already. There's no more fighting against it.
It's borderline sycophantic, dude.
It's fucking cult-like psychoticness. And like I said in the
I'm still not going to use the G word. I don't want to like go that far, but
arguing with these people, it's time to start beating it out of them. I'm ready to start putting hands on people that are in this fan base still making excuses for Tua, because you're a piece of shit. I don't like you. You're dumb as fuck. I don't want to hear you. And the next time I see you, I want to put you in the hospital with the ass whipping I'm going to give you. That's how it is.
The real question.
I'm going to give you the Tua Tagovailoa special,
Tua?
bitch. I'm going to fucking have you seize up and get in concussion protocol, you bitch.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And that's because I play defense. I play defense. I like to hit things. It makes me feel good.
Tua has united the fan base like none other, Cap. Tua has united this fan base.
Again, I play defense. At some point, I just want to hurt you. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about me, because I'm willing to always blame me, because that's what a man does. It's always my fault. And you know what? It's my fault I let this quarterback get so in his feelings that he think he runs shit around here. I'm going to hurt him. That's how I think. It's my fault that I let the coach's son get away with this shit all year. Now I got to do something about it in practice. It's my fault that I allowed this little bitch motherfucker to fucking cry and point his finger of blame, and I didn't do nothing about it. Fuck the penalty. Fuck the fine. Fuck the flag. I'm hurting somebody. That's how it's done.
And can we finally stop shitting on Bo Nix? The man went out there and scored 33 points in one quarter, and did what he had to do to get that team to a victory in his second year. It don't look like a sophomore slump to me.
Well, look, you know what? Bo Nix is 2/3 the quarterback to it tries to be on his best day when all the moon and stars are aligned and Mike McDaniel and the war machine for Tua sexuals are at full attention. Bo Nix is 2/3 better than that.
Yep.
Yeah, they want to shit on them all they want.
Hit the like button, everybody. Over 500 watching on all platforms. Come over to YouTube and hit the like button. Press play, color.
I just felt like emotional overreactions early in the first half, while being very competitive. But the four, I think there was 4 drives sustained by penalties defensively, and I could feel that building up. And then you come out the gate the second half, and you have a fumble on special teams, and then a 1-play pick six. The guys were frustrated throughout the game, and I thought it didn't help us; it made us worse. There was late hits on 2 occasions, personal fouls. That isn't.
Color, hit the pause button.
We haven't made.
You heard what he said. He gave deference to the defense's mistakes.
Oh, he was totally defending the defense today in this presser right here. He runs through the list of, yeah, they made these mistakes, but what do you expect? The same argument we always make. It's the same thing I told Mr. Polk during the game. Remember what I told Mr. Polk during the game? Watch. They don't have to quit purposely. They just have to let things play out because they're gonna give up. I mean, or not even give up, just like they're gonna eventually get cracked.
Fail organically, Color. It fails organically.
They don't have to quit on purpose.
No, they just have to put it into his hands, and it fails.
And right on cue, after I tell Mr. Polk that, it's wow. They run it up to 31. It's like, okay.
In that. So we found a different way to kind of undo our game. And there's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to, assess a different player and
see, okay, a different player, yet he used the plural to begin with. You notice that?
Yeah, no, I know, because saying the player means he has a player in mind that he's talking about. That's what that means.
Color, remember
the other go ahead, Crypto. Jump in here.
No, remember when you said the tour was finished at the first half of the Ravens game? Is he officially finished now?
There's something else McDaniel said here. Let me rewind it
a bit. A fumble on special teams, and then a 1-play. And I thought it didn't help us; it made us worse. So we found a different way to kind of undo our game. And there's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because
there's a lot of guys that'll have an important work week. Well, yeah, because you've got to get another quarterback up to speed.
Yeah, you got to see. You got to see.
So that quarterback's going to have a busy work week, and there's a whole bunch of guys that aren't going to be playing this week because you're going to be shopping them before the trade deadline.
No,
which means a whole bunch of other guys got to get up to speed this week too.
Color also,
because guess what? We're about to change our style.
Yeah, he did say. Yeah, that was pretty clear cut there. He said
that's how you connect the dots, people, right there.
Also, I also believe he meant there's a lot of people I got to get to work because if I am going to put in a new quarterback, and whether you're going to play or not play, you guys need to be on the same page with the new style quarterback we're going with. Wide receivers, running backs, offensive line, getting used to the cadence. That's a lot of work to do when I'm making a style change.
Yep.
We're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to, assess a different player.
And now the singular. I have no choice but to assess a different player. Now, he could still be talking individually to the plural. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, at every given position, I might have to assess a different player. He could be meaning that, but he's usually pretty damn careful about the way he speaks, dude.
He's definitely careful. Everything's an color.
Yeah. So
and until he said what he says,
the fact that I can
really
speculate
means.
one or the other means he probably meant the simpler one, which is he's talking about one player. And the fact of it is, when he talks about routinely negatively affecting the team, who does that routinely?
Color, I just
Jalen Phillips, a couple cornerbacks that keep getting caught flat-footed, and the quarterback.
Color.
I don't see. Look, unless you're talking about he's being so petty that a wide receiver not being in the right spot is routinely negatively affecting the team. I don't think he's being that petty. He's talking about turnovers. And who's turning the ball over? Even the fumbles are coming from Tua for the most part.
Color, I just seen in chat, somebody said Tyrell Dotson tweeted something.
Oh, really?
Do we know what this is, Color?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Can you check maybe on the group chat or something? Crypto, do you know anything about Tyrell Dotson's tweet?
No, I don't.
Check the timeline and see what you're talking about. In chat, Color, see who that was in chat that said something about Tyrell's tweet.
I don't know, but what is Ty talking about? Hold on.
Something Tyrell Dotson tweeted tonight. Somebody in chat said it was important. Oh, was it what Tyreek tweeted? Is that what Nene said?
Possibly, yeah.
I thought it said Tyrell. What did Tyreek tweet, Nene?
I'm looking right now. He tweeted this right here. Hold on. What the hell is beeping, man? I got something beeping. I don't even know what it is.
Hit the like button, everybody. Been going for over 2 hours tonight.
Oh, that's coming from Tyreek's tweet. Nene, that's freaking me out, Nene. That's coming from Tyreek's tweet. It's the I think it's meant to be a fire alarm or smoke alarm.
Oh, he's got the smoke alarm tweet.
Oh, there's a small. Oh, I get it.
Oh, so what did he say? What's the tweet?
I'm freaking out over here. I'm like, what is that? My battery? Because it's coming out of the speaker that's right over by my battery backup, and it's the same kind of beep that my battery backup makes. Oh.
So Tyreek Hill says where there's smoke, there's fire is what he's saying.
Maybe. Or there's a smoke alarm going off. Or it's a 3-alarm fire, or something. Interesting.
Hit the like button, everybody. Continue on, Color.
And I have to coach
that
a
wasn't
lot better as well. So we need, we're going to find out who and what we're made of.
What were your conversations with Tua after this game?
What we're made of?
Yeah, it'll be tape driven. So I'll take a look at the tape. But before watching the tape, I don't want to over conclude anything. I think, but like you turn the ball over. It's the number one indicator of wins and losses, and it negatively affects the team. I think there's multiple factors in those turnovers.
You heard what he said, Color? You turn over the ball, it negatively affects the team. Not 3 minutes ago, not even 30 seconds ago, he said for those who routinely negatively affect the team. Rewind it just a minute, Color, and listen to it all.
a fumble on special teams. We haven't majored in that, so we found a different way
There we go.
to kind of undo our game. And there's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because we're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to assess a different player, and I have to coach a lot better as well. So we're going to find out who and what we're made of.
What were your conversations you with Tua after this game?
It'll be tape driven, so I'll take a look at the tape. But before watching the tape, I don't want to over conclude anything. I think, but like you turn the ball over. It's the number one indicator of wins and losses, and it negatively affects the team. I think there's multiple
There it is.
Factors in.
There it is, Color. Turnovers negatively affect the team. Routine turnovers are negatively affecting the team. Who has had routine turnovers on this football team, Color? Does anyone know?
In those,
That's exactly what I was trying to say. You tell me.
Turnovers.
Hit the like button, everybody. If you're watching on X, come over to YouTube.
1 to 2 of them were extremely preventable from Tua, and he knows that he was it just wasn't good enough. So we'll watch the tape and change our style of play if we have to. We'll do everything's on the table. When you
Color, put it on
go
pause.
to a game, you fully know that you have the capability.
Now listening to it all from the point where he says routines, the players who are routinely making mistakes, we need to find someone to change them out with pretty much. Then he goes into turnovers are negatively impacting the team. So players that are routinely negatively impacting the team need to be addressed. Then he says turnovers negatively impact the team. Then he says Tua Tagovailoa, we need to do, or then he implies about questions about Tua. It says if we need to change our styles, we need to do that. And then he'll go on further to say it's a busy work week for a lot of people because we're having style changes to fix the routine things that are hurting us. The only routine thing he talked about was turnovers. That's it. I mean, he said it all.
Ability.
Right, and the only player he brought up was Tua. And then he led into the talk about him knowing that and then him not being good enough.
Tua knows he's losing his job is what it sounds like he's saying.
He's up out of there. He's got his bus ticket.
And by Tua's earlier comments about him needing to get people that believe in him, he means Mike McDaniel doesn't believe in him anymore. And that Tua also said in that comment is that Tua has lost the locker room. And he lost it before he put his foot in his mouth. But after calling out people in the locker room for missing mandatory meetings or whatever the fuck he was talking about late and no one knew what he was talking about, Tua, by his own admission, says, I wish I would have handled things differently. I got to figure out how to fucking get everyone back on my side because the entire locker room's against me and Mike McDaniel knows it and so does everyone else, and styles are going to be changed and people who routinely fuck up are going to be held accountable like Tua keeps talking about, and we're going to hold him accountable to his own motherfucking words, bitch. We're gonna hold Tua accountable to his own words. Hit the like button.
To win and get handed a very, very humbling loss. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Guys need to be professionals. Guys need to step up to the plate, and every person, on our team. If you're saying it's not me, it's you. That's what I told the team. That's what I have to subscribe to.
If you're saying it's not me, it's you. This is the first time I heard Tua at a press conference say it was him this week. Up until this point, he'd been calling out everybody else. He only kind of said it was him. He gave himself 10% of the blame in today's post-game presser, and he was calling out everybody. And Mike McDaniel just said, the guys that are saying it's not them, it's them. Again, further talking about Tua. Hit the like button.
And we will be diligent in our both our cleanup of this game and the opponent for next week, because you're just not going to win games. And our team, we say we want to win games, so we have to do the things necessary to win games. Until that happens, we will lose games.
Such a lack of discipline shown between penalties and turnovers. Do you still find players to be receptive to the coaching and messaging?
Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of the frustration got in the way of our execution, and that's never going to be acceptable. I did think that specifically in the second half that the defense did not quit in a situation that was pretty difficult, considering receiving the ball after halftime, and then they're on the negative side of the field, and then all of a sudden have give up 7 more points that they didn't give up. I think there's the effort. The effort was there. The execution.
Color, hold it up there.
And
hold it right there, Color. Further giving deference to the defense. So Mike McDaniel's talked about routinely messing up, routinely needing to put themselves in bad positions, but he's excusing the defense from today because they never gave up. They played with emotion. The emotion got the best of them, but he's not mad at the defense. And he's kind of giving deference a little bit to the special teams. So he's only talking about one side of the ball. Who's he talking about on that one side of the ball? Is he talking about Jonas Silva-Niluea or whatever the hell, that they're going to make a change at guard? Are they talking about a change need to be made at running back? Devon Achane's the best in the game. Wide receivers, did they fail us today? Are they routinely setting the team back? I don't know. Continue.
The discipline, really, to play sound football and not take an extra step and still try to hit somebody or be out of position with your feet and hold. That all of these things amount to losing football games, and that lesson is a tough one.
Color, did that freeze on you or am I frozen? Did we lose color? Crypto, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Guess we lost color.
Project.
Yeah, it is. He dropped off.
A horror story at another.
Kind of stream.
This is why.
Yeah, I don't think color could take much more. That's what it sounds like.
To verify a business
Yeah.
corporation search. The Deputy Secretary of State.
Who's going to be here to pick up all the pieces?
Who's going to be? I don't know. Color's out there looking for accountability right now.
Yeah.
Color heard me talking about putting hands on people, and he said, "Fuck it." He's going out looking for people in Tua jerseys right now.
Yeah. Getting them all rounded up. Damn.
Tonk, I'm gonna throw it to you. What do you think about all this, Tonk?
The licensing board says
Crypto, you got background TV.
Oh yeah, let me put in. Hang on. All right. There we go.
Tonk, you there?
Tonk skip town.
Looks like it's just me and you, Crypto. I mean, Crypto.
Skipping town.
What more can we do to save this fucking something? Some kind of respect, some kind of whatever. I mean, is the answer to just fire Mike McDaniel too?
No, I think the derailment, there's no putting this train back on the track. It's a complete total derailment. Let's grease those tracks so those wheels can't get back on it. You know, make sure that the caboose is all fired up and that it stays derailed. That's all we can do now. I'm a full steam ahead derailment right now. I'm team derailment.
Well, can't we take the box cars off and turn them into trolleys or something, Crypto?
We could probably do that, or turn them into the little those little train the circus trains, where each car has one of them have the bearded lady, one of them have the 400-pound lady, one of them
got
has
the roof cut out of them. They got all the giraffes' heads sticking out.
The giraffes' heads, yeah.
Yeah, we could be like the circus.
Yeah, we could turn those caboose cars into the circus. Each compartment has its own little sideshow.
I think we are turning into a sideshow of circus.
Yep.
I think it's pretty safe to say that we're heading in that direction, Crypto.
Yep, it's the full-on circus. P.T. Barnum will be proud of this dolphin product.
Barnum and Bailey will be purchasing this team. We are a circus train heading to nowhere. Not a crazy train, which would be kind of fun. We're a circus train. And we're not going to see the circus. We are the circus. And
we are the
depressing.
circus, right.
That's depressing. That's the depressing thing.
The circus rolling into town.
Who's the
like back
of the circus.
The old 1900s when they get on those little what's those little things when they set up shop, the circus is rolling through the tents. Yeah, the tents.
Yeah.
The big tents. We're out there. We're bringing in all the animals and all the clowns. The juggler on the unicycle. Yeah, we got a full steam, Cap. Tua is the juggler on the unicycle.
Damn. He's you know who else does that job? The bear.
Yeah, the bear. Yeah.
The bear juggles on a unicycle too. So Tua ain't even the best clown we got.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yep.
Damn, he's just a mid clown.
Yeah, we got to recruit some more. He said, "Who? Joe Mama said something about Phillips to color again. Did you mention Phillips?"
No, I didn't mention Phillips, and here comes
No,
Color now to save the day.
he's
My
got a
Classic
sack.
Color.
man, I had my battery backup apparently is losing its battery, and I had total power failure, man. That's what the
Wow.
beeping is.
He's got a sack. I think he's got 2 sacks. Didn't he get 2 sacks?
That's
in
what the
game?
beeping is. So it was the beeping. It wasn't
Yeah,
the
it was
Tyreek
the
Hill's
beep. It
video.
wasn't the meme. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was beeping. My beeping
Tripping.
battery backup.
Yeah, it's all that
All of a
friggin'
sudden.
the computer's taking a wear and tear with all that stock you've been doing and trading, Color.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, bro, it's like, Cap, it's
There you
like
go.
problem after problem all of a sudden. Now even my battery backup is losing its battery. Come on, man.
yep.
Mm.
Gotta spend money if you want to make money. You know how they do, Color.
It's like, dang, man. I'm sick of it, man. See if I can get this going back on. I'll just mute myself when where were you at about right here?
On our team.
Yeah,
if you're saying it's not me, it's you.
Yep, that's where it is. If
No,
you're
we-
saying it's not me, it's you. Well, who but the entire Tua fan base keeps saying it's everybody else?
Talk about it.
I mean, was that a message to the Tua fan base?
No, they're on the couch eating chips.
Oh, that's what I told the team. That's what I have to subscribe to, and we will be diligent in our both our cleanup of this game and the opponent for next week, because you're just not going to win games, and our team, we say we want to win games, so we have to do the things necessary to win games. Until that happens,
shit.
we will lose games.
Oh, shit, Color. Put it on pause. We have to do the things necessary. Changes. We have to do the things necessary for the team, Color. I think
I mean, that's him included. If you want to win, you got to do what's necessary to win. And thus far, McDaniel, keeping Tua in for 3 seasons straight is not showing that you want to win. Just ain't.
100,000,000%.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing new, bro. When you talk about routinely negatively affecting the team, who's doing that? I mean, even in games we win, it's like a struggle because we got to make up for stupid shit, interceptions, fumbled snaps.
Terrible drives, fucking miscues and throws.
A guy that
balls
can't
that are
throw the ball into
behind.
the end zone, 5 yards out on a 4th down.
Guy who can't throw a 20-yard out to save his fucking life. Let's continue.
Give me just a sec. Okay.
Players to be receptive to your coaching and messaging.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the frustration got in the way of our execution, and that's never going to be acceptable. I did think that specifically in the second half that the defense did not quit in a situation that was pretty difficult considering receiving the ball after halftime, and then they're on the negative side of the field, and then all of a sudden have a give up 7 more points that they didn't give up. I think there's the effort was there, the execution and the discipline really to play sound football and not take an extra step and still try to hit somebody or be out of position with your feet and hold that all of these things amount to losing football games, and that lesson is a tough one, but it will forever stand in the National Football League. That doing things like that is not good enough and will not be good enough.
So, do you feel renewed concern over your job security?
So the way I look at this job is I find it very offensive to all parties involved. If I'm thinking about having the job, I need to be doing my job. So for as long as I coach for the Miami Dolphins in this organization, they'll get everything from me, and I refuse to spend my time thinking about something that you have a job, you do your job, and you do it to the best of your ability, and that's where my concern lies. I think it's offensive to all coaches, players, and the organization if I'm spending that precious time thinking about myself.
Mike, when players are frustrated to the point where it's impacting execution, what can you say to them on the sideline in the locker room to get that turned around?
Well, I got to do a better job of saying that clearly, because in game we have to find our composure. But realistically, you do hard truths in this league. You are always held accountable for your ultimate performance, and you coach through tape. So I have had nor will have no problem, telling the truth of the tape, and you have to either you accept it and rise to the challenge and correct those things, or you're subject to the same exact types of failures that I know that the guys are tired of. They wanted to win. Okay, they did, and they didn't do it. And it's all of us. So I don't think anybody's spared from accountability. I think we all need to look at the mirror, or in the mirror, and the main thing is teams that go through hardships, you double down on those hardships if you don't stick together. So we have to do better collectively, and I'm looking for guys to lean into the team and not try to displace, not try to feel like, okay, I did all right, it wasn't my fault. No, that's not how it works. We all have to stay together, and we all have to be focused if we want it to improve.
Final two questions.
Coach, you mentioned the Browns, your defense not giving up, but this Browns offense was viewed by a lot as the worst in the NFL, and they go out there and do what they did. Is this offense better than what maybe we think they are, or?
Well, I think the National Football League is an ever-evolving process. Each team is going through all sorts of lessons, good or bad. I think they have talented players, and I wish I could offer up a better view on exactly who they are. I don't really have that view because it's kind of tarnished with all of our. I don't even know how we match up because we're penalizing ourselves through the process, and in the second half, there's with a 3-score lead, everything is kind of adjusted anyway. So good team that did what they had to do to beat us today, which was not turn the ball over and execute on the line of scrimmage, and they did a great job. So my hat's off to them, but I'm more focused on all the things that we need to clean up.
Mike,
Final question.
The decision to elevate Quinn Ewers to backup quarterback today, what went into that, and then what went into the decision to put him in the game?
So during
any comment on that last round?
No, I feel like it's kind of getting. He's just reiterating. He's beating around the bush, but he's also kind of giving him millions of breadcrumbs to get pick up what he's putting down. He's calling out Tua, and now I think that's what led us to the last question that he's about to answer, because the reality is he's this is Mike McDaniel calling out Tua for the football team that is frustrated, that is upset, that is angry. And he's saying, I hear you. We're doing things about it, and it is now equal in this way. So go ahead.
During the work week, you're offsetting some of the plays that he's making. It was much more about him and what he was doing on the football field. And then realistically, it was an assessment for this game. I thought if a quarterback went in this particular defense, in all the variables compiled, I thought he gave us the best chance to win. So did what people are counting on me to do. And what does that mean moving forward? I didn't make the move with that in mind. I talked to Zach and Quinn that I thought it was this game specifically that based on his practice week and really the opponent, and we'll hit that hard in terms of the evaluation of his plays. Momentarily after I get out of this, after I get on the plane. All right, appreciate it.
Well, he's moved on. I didn't even hear that part earlier.
Yeah, I didn't either.
He's completely moved on. He was already ready to decide between the two backups. Like it's already shifted.
It seems that way. It certainly seems that way right now.
He didn't want to throw Zach out to the Wolves in a situation he knew he was going to have to put Tua on the bench in, because he knew it wasn't going to get any better going into the game. Nobody wants. They made it clear to him that they didn't want to play for Tua today, and so he was ready to move on, and he has moved on. Tua's done, bro. That's it. We need to start talking about which one of the two, Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers, is starting this week. We need to shift the talk even away from Tua at this point. What we got to do to fix the defense, what we got to do to fix the defense, its problems, and how are we going to game plan and get Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers up to speed? Because Mike McDaniel obviously still wants to win.
Well, Color, I also believe that Mike McDaniel is uninhibited as well. He's gotten the memo. You're allowed to be done with Tua now. Chris Greer and company and them are looking at new quarterbacks. They know 2026.
That's what I was trying to say last week. That's what I was trying to say last week when, or the week before, when Ross was basically saying, I've got patience for McDaniel. Like, dude,
yeah, I remember.
Do whatever you got to do. Let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got. And Tua puts his foot in his mouth, gets on the bad side of all media and ex-NFL players from Cam Newton on down. Then he comes back and puts up a performance like this, while also Chris Greer and the brass is actively and publicly announcing looking at quarterbacks in the
and he wasn't
draft.
And Cap, he wasn't talking about doing what everybody was counting on them to do, meaning benching Tua. That's part of it. He's talking about standing up for the rest of the team, because one pompous ass player is throwing everybody under the bus.
Listen, Tua, let's take Tua out of the equation.
The rest of the adults in the room are like, when is this guy going to man up and sit this little guy down and tell him?
Let's look at Tua in this realm. Let's take what we believe and know about Tua. Let's just take it in a more binary sense, right? Look at the New York Giants. Daniel Jones ain't trash, but with New York and his abilities, was trash. Now, whether he was ultimately trash or not, he was never going to be anything with the Giants. And it's time to turn the page. And they did. They did. Whether Tua's trash or not, you Tua sexuals might have your day in court if Tua shows up on the, I don't know, the Cardinals in 3 years and he's lighting up the skies.
The Jets have already benched Justin Fields, dude.
Yep. And rightfully so, too. Justin Fields is trash. But it's time for change. And Mike McDaniel isn't the fire change to stay based quarterback. The organization has already moved on in 2026 in their minds at the quarterback position. What they need to know now, am I moving on from the quarterback and the coach? And coach got the fucking memo. That's what's happened.
Exactly. Ross is like, I got my second opinion on the quarterback. Now I need my second opinion on this coach.
That's it. And that's where we are current in this. Now, what does that look like? Does that mean he installs a full heavy run scheme and takes the game out of Tua's hands and tries it with Tua? Does it mean he starts installing packages slowly over the next 2 weeks for his two other quarterbacks and does a mixed bag with quarterbacks at the position? It doesn't matter. That's going to be up to Mike McDaniel how he handles it from here on out. But he's pretty much saying the quiet part out loud, and the organization is publicly screaming it. And Mike McDaniel is now co-signing it publicly. This is what the deal is, ladies and gentlemen. I got a team to worry about. The days of worrying about doing what this quarterback needs is over. It's over.
Right. He's got to think of the team. If you're like he's saying, I'm a coach, I got to do that. Because the rest of the team is like, bro, you're not going to say something. We're going to revolt, bro. We cannot continue to allow you to let this guy throw us under the bus, man.
Always letting the defense take the brunt of the blames all year. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve their own blame and that they aren't fucking up or didn't commit penalties. But
it's more than the defense. It's wide receivers aren't in the right spots and offensive linemen aren't getting the right positions and the communication failures. It's not just the defense he's throwing under the bus.
Causation, Color. It's causation from top down quarterback leadership in the locker room. It's causation for all these other problems. And if you don't,
we already had the tenure of a Hall of Fame tackle. And everybody acts like Greer never got him the offensive line.
We've drafted an O-lineman, multiple O-linemen every year. We go and get guys off the streets all the time. It's just like it's enough already. Okay? Yeah, I get it. We don't have an all-pro O-line. So does nobody else.
Right, because even if we had the 32nd O-line, there's somebody with the 29th O-line, and they're winning. There's somebody with the 21st ranked O-line, and they're winning.
Yeah.
Everybody else is winning, people.
Color, real quick, what is our O-line ranked heading
I don't even know. I don't even know who to look for that anymore because it's all just so skewed, bro. It's just nobody has a clear – because whether you got missed a block is so subjective. I keep trying to tell people this. If you're designed to run, to pull, that could look to a statistician like you gave up a block.
Yep. These statisticians don't know the fucking play calls, and they don't know that the guy pulling is doing his job right while everyone else did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa.
And again, even if though, Cap, there are how many 1-6 teams, and there's only one 0-7 team. I'm pretty sure somebody with a 25th ranked offensive line is winning. So that's not an excuse anymore. There's people winning with bad offensive lines.
Every week.
9th, 32nd, 29th, 26th, 25th, whatever. There's people winning with those offensive lines.
I think the Tua project is officially over, Color.
Oh, you sound great now. Would you just get home?
Yeah, I just got here.
How the hell do you drive all the way there that fast, dude? Jesus, man.
3 hours, Color. I don't stop.
I guess you know what? I guess we underestimate because of the curvature of the earth just how long the peninsula of Florida is, dude. Because I forget that you're already up. You already traversed most of the state of Florida from your jump point.
Yep, I'm south of St. Augustine, north of Daytona.
Right. So it's hard for me to remember that it takes 10 hours just to get there. You know, like, well, not 10, but you know what I mean.
3. From where you are, it's only I'm twice as far away now.
Right. But in my mind, I'm like, whoa, the Carolinas, that's like way up there. You know what I mean? It's not really once you get out of Florida.
It's not really once you get close to, Jacksonville area and St. Augustine. Plus, I'm just in Carolina too. I'm like at exit 6 or 8 or whatever. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Color, we got so much to talk about this week.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get it all talked about in one night. That's for sure.
We've got so much to talk about. We've got, discussions of who's gonna, who's taking Tua's job. Is Tua gonna lose his job? Is Mike McDaniel gonna go one more time back to the Tua well and cost himself his job? Because I'm telling you right now, he rolls out with Tua and puts together another performance like this, and they lose again. I don't give a shit. They're gonna fire him because he's now.
Quarterback is hearkening back to his rookie year when they went 1-7, dude, and talking about, oh, we've done this, we can do that. Bro, it's over, Tua. Give it up, dude.
It's over, dude. What he's talking about going back to 2021 where he built this fucking 2-in-ear army, and that's what he wants to get. That's what he was really saying, Color.
Unreal.
Appreciate everybody coming through. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Again, if you guys are watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, any of the other platforms, make sure you guys are coming over to YouTube and subscribing over here.
And when they all get bored of talking about this next, process that we're about to go through, we here at the tailgate are gonna be right here covering it all. We ain't going nowhere.
Every bit. We don't go nowhere, baby, but up.
And when we make all those stupid moves and everybody wants to argue about it, that's okay. We'll be here for it.
Salute everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Crypto, thanks for coming by, buddy. And Tonk as well, if you're still there, Tonk. And everybody fins up.